Here we go. Who's in, who's out, who's on the bubble? It's the final stretch. Let's talk about it.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and got.
Hey, you heard what I said. Who's in, who's out, and who's on the bubble, right? We're heading down the final stretch of the European League of Football. So instead of me giving you a power rankings, let's just talk about what that final stretch looks like, right? You know, the last 2 weeks of the season are going to be a fun week. It's going to be a race to that 6th seed, right? It's going to be wild. You know, what should we know? What are we going to find out heading into playoffs, right? We know, Nordic, Munich, and Vienna are locked in at their current spots, right? And we know that the Surge are probably going to be next in line to follow. You think about the remaining schedule. They got Cologne. They got the Enthroners. The Surge are probably locked in. All right. And to me, the Surge are the most mysterious team. They have not played their best ball yet. Despite that win against Paris, despite what we saw against Frankfurt early in the year, they have not played their best ball yet, in my opinion. They somewhat coasted through the season. Again, it's just what lied in front of them, right? They didn't really have a difficult schedule. You split with Munich, right? You split with Paris. You swept Frankfurt, right? So they didn't really have like a different season. But the biggest question, all right, is it too late is it too late to get their best ball, right? Is it too late for this team to peak, right? Big Cognac, right, Hennessy, there's no telling if he's coming back next year. This could be his last run, right? This team, this group, Jordan Newman in the gang, have all been around since the Schwäbisch Hall days, right? And obviously that last year's playoff spot still lights a fire under them. You could tell it's still there. So how do we feel about the Surge heading into the playoffs? I think they're the most rested team, the most experienced team. They're a team that's played their backups more than any other team in the league this year, right? And I think that's going to help, with the experience. They're going to be able to rely, on their backups if need be. Everyone's played ball. Everyone knows the expectations. The Surge are the most mysterious team heading into the playoffs, right? And then you got a team like Madrid on the verge of making the playoffs for the second time in their organization. Only a 2-year-old franchise, right? But they're the best. They're the best show on the European grass right now, right? Their offense is explosive. They're always putting up numbers, right? Reed, again, most seasoned quarterback, I think, right now, most efficient quarterback right now. Cruikshank, probably on the Mount Rushmore, an American term, in regards to most, electrifying players to ever play in the ELF. You think about Jarvis McClam. You think about Kamate Turpin, Aaron Jackson, right? Turbo Tate, got to throw that name out there, right? I can't forget about the Mr. Triple Crown winner, Markel Castle, right? You think about explosive and electrifying, right? Cruikshank's up there as one of the best. Defense has played better, and it showed in that last game versus the Raiders, only holding the offense to 8 points in the second half, right? Another thing, the Madrid team, again, best show on the European grass. You don't want to play them twice, all right? You don't want to play them twice. Look, when Madrid beat Hamburg, they only beat them by 1. They blew them out the next time they played, right? When Madrid lost to the Raiders, and technically they probably should have won that game the first time, they blew them out the second game, right? So Madrid has Frankfurt and Munich coming up, right? I think I think obviously it depends on Munich seeding. Right now they're in the 2 seed, so they're definitely got to play their guys. But Madrid is a scary team to play right now. Scary, especially the second time around, right? Especially the second time around. All right. Again, the thing for Madrid, they're just going to want to outscore you. Frankfurt, I think, will be tough because Frankfurt is probably playing spoiler, but we'll see. One thing I want to point out about the Madrid Bravos, right? You think about Andrew Weidinger. Andrew's been special. Since he joined the league, all right? And I know it's about the team, and I know it's always about the team first, but if you think about his resume, best coach in Barcelona Dragons history, introduced us to or got the most out of Magic Zach Edwards his second year in the ELF, right? He introduced us to Kyle Sweet, receiver from Washington State, who just came into the league for the first year and became the Triple Crown winner. All right, and we already talked about Magic Zach. MVP season, unfortunately, didn't get the MVP. right? You think about Jadrian Clark, MVP season under Andrew Weidinger. Glenn Turner, MVP season under Andrew Weidinger, right? Willie P. We were introduced to Willie P. as he came in as a replacement when Nathaniel Robitaille got hurt, and we see what he's doing now and the type of year he's having, right? He's leading the Bravos right now, right, to possibly their second playoff run. Reed Sennett, self-explanatory. Again, most efficient quarterback in the league. Aaron Cruikshank, right? Potential Triple Crown winner. He's gotten the most out of Juan Flores Calderon and probably resurrect his career. He introduced us to Justice Seeley, who was signed a week before the season, a guy who wasn't in the league this offseason and became in a week 4. And since then, he's got 2 FBS offers and probably on the verge of being Rookie of the Year. May still win it, but I know because of that injury, might have set him back. But if you are a skilled player, skilled offensive player in the year, why would you not want to play for Andrew Weidinger, right? Madrid, best show on the European grass. Scary team coming down the stretch, but they got to win. Don't get it wrong. They got a hard schedule to finish. They got to win or at least split, these last 2 games. You think about the Ryan Fire. I can't believe, I'm saying that the 3P is actually still alive. I thought they'd be done, but the 3P is actually still alive. And they're kind of a confusing team. They've had a lot of, turnover and stuff like that, but passing game has seemed to pick up, right? You saw the last 2 games. Ryan's definitely going to be an interesting watch, right? You think about Paris. It would be a shame if everything we saw from the Musketeers with their schedule and, overcoming an adversity that they didn't make the playoffs. But it's only 2 spots left. And they're going to have to find a way. Offense is going to have to find a way. They're going to look good versus Helvetic. I get it. But that Vikings game, and depending on what happens in Week 13, is going to tell us a lot, about Paris. It's on the offense. Right? You probably got the top 3 best defense in the league. Offense got to figure out how to get it done versus these quality opponents. Prague, man, what a beautiful story Prague is. What a beautiful story Prague is. Regardless of what happens, Prague won this season. They have a chance of making the playoffs, but also like the complete 360. Shout out to Mason Parker and owner, GM, front office, whoever you want to call it. Turning that program around. You think about, you might have the coach of the year, assistant coach of the year, comeback player of the year, special teams and offensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year, right? What a great job that team has done in turning that whole thing around. The future is bright for Prague, and I'm excited to see how everything pans out. Again, some guys to point out, Fletcher, leading the league in interceptions, Arthur Kingdom, dog at linebacker, and has been a leader of that defense. Ken Hite Jr. is balling out. You think about James Brooks, assistant, going from player to possibly player to assistant coach of the year. Coach Warner coming from Madrid, now in Prague, right? Javarian Smith, comeback player of the year. We saw what his career was in Hamburg last year. I'm just saying, Prague had a great season regardless of what happens. It's a win for Prague regardless of what happens. But I'm not going to lie, it'd be interesting to see them in the playoffs, see how everything pans out. All right, Frankfurt, they're playing spoiler. They got a chance. They need a lot of help, but they're playing spoiler, and they definitely could do it. Huge game versus Prague this weekend, but also you finish the year with playing Madrid. So we'll see how everything pans out. So it's going to be crazy. I'm excited to see how everything pans out. Long story short, let's buckle up because it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a ride. This is the final stretch, all right? So locker room, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Athletes Forum Podcast.